Our guest today is actor Jack Maxwell, who hosted Booze Traveler on the Travel Channel for 4 years. And he has made guest star TV appearances on Lost and 24, even House and Beverly Hills at 90210, as well as General Hospital and All My Children, and so many others. And he has shared the stage with Al Pacino and Jessica Chastain and Diane Wiest in Salome, and has appeared in several other theatrical productions. But Jack is here today to talk about a brand new TV series that focuses on the challenges our veterans go through who have been injured in combat. So without further ado, let's welcome actor of screen and stage, Jack Maxwell. Welcome, friend.
I had to hold in the laugh. What a glowing introduction you gave me. Thank you. That's too nice. I really appreciate it, though.
Well,
Well
it's
done.
great. It's great to have you on today, and thank you for the kind words and compliments. But what have you been doing since Booze Traveler?
Oh, well, the first thing I did was to fight cancer. I was diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, and I did another 2 seasons with that until I went into chemo. While I was there, the show got canceled, and so I just focused on my health for the or for the next few years after it got pulled, and came back 100%. I'm better and stronger and more vibrant with a new appreciation for not only life itself, but people, places, and things. I realized how precious every moment is. I mean, luckily, I had that understanding early on in life due to the circumstances in which I grew up and where I came from. But now, even more so, it really crystallized to me that the moments are so important, and that being in the moment is the best thing you can do always, no matter who you're with, especially when you're with someone you care about, someone you love. It's really all about that at the end of the day. And that's why when I was asked to be involved with this thing you're talking about here, it's called American Homecoming. I jumped at the chance because our veterans go away either to the theater of war, or to just whether they're on bases or just whether they're just in service anywhere. It doesn't matter where they are. They come back different. They come back hurt. They come back debilitated somehow. And in this particular instance, on the pilot of this TV show, our veteran had cancer that was crushing his spine and forced him into a wheelchair. And the best thing that we could do is to try to give him his life back in whatever way we can, even if it's in a small way. So the guy who created the show, Tracy Trost, he created it, directed, wrote it, hired me as the host. He got this wonderful army of volunteers together and some sponsors and redid the Veterans House. And by redoing it, I just don't mean a splash of paint or a new roof or something, made it livable for him again. So they widened the doorways so that the wheelchair could fit through, gave gave our veteran Garrett a remote so that he could open the doors. When making him self-sufficient, I think, is really important. Also pulled out all the carpeting in this guy's house and put in hardwood floors so he could roll easily. And then also for the aesthetic, brought in a designer, and she changed it up and made a house a home, really, because our vet has this wonderful fiance and or girlfriend, and there's a wonderful twist at the end I don't want to give away, or a nice surprise. But to me, it was great doing Booze Traveler. I loved traveling and drinking and meeting people and exploring cultures. This feels different to me. This feels like it's such a worthy cause that I just had to jump at the chance.
Well, what inspired you to be a part of American Homecoming, and how did Tracy find you?
Well, he found me through a couple of friends that he knew. One guy who is a very well-known actor, uh, Tracy had worked with before, and that actor gave Tracy my name and said, maybe Jack would be available to help you put this together. And I did what I could to, add my little bit of knowledge and so-called expertise into the field. And Tracy put it together and said, "Hey, now we got it. You want to host it?" And I was thrilled because it's so great to be a part of something bigger than yourself. I think we all yearn for that in one way or the other. And in this case, it wasn't about me or even how I hosted it or what I thought of it. It was helping this guy get his life back. And I don't know if there's a greater cause than giving of yourself for someone who is in need. And that's what we
Well,
accomplished.
well, Jack, who are the other cast members on the American Homecoming series?
Well, we have Kara, the designer, who not only designed it, she did a lot of the work as well. Jimmy, the contractor. We have Dave Riley, who is a veteran, and he lost both arms and both legs and some of his organs while he was active duty Coast Guard, and he became a master craftsman with just hooks for arms from the elbow down. And it's amazing what he can do with that, really teaching us that we can overcome almost anything. And the last cast member is CC Mays, and she was active duty Army, a paratrooper, and she ended up smashing into the ground at a high rate of speed because her parachute got tangled with someone else, and she became I guess
Or paralyzed?
had to be paralyzed, had to be in a wheelchair, and so those are the main cast members. Again, it's Kara and Jimmy and Dave and Cece and myself, small part of it, and then of course, like I said, this army of volunteers that did so much
Well, what are
to
some of the
try to give this
challenges?
guy's
Well, what are some of the challenges that our veterans um, have when they live in a home that is not designed for a wheelchair?
Yes, of course. Well, uh, in I'm sure almost every case, they didn't think they were going to be in a wheelchair, of course. Maybe they got it before they were veterans. So it's just a house. It's a house like everyone else has, or a reasonable facsimile of. It's not built to accommodate handicapped people, people in wheelchairs, people that need walkers or what have you. And so it's quite a challenge to refit that to serve them again because it's listen we have a hard enough time getting through life with all the challenges thrown in front of us, but imagine being relegated to a wheelchair and then having to go around your house and get things that were once reachable now are not, or be able to come through a doorway. You can't. You have to get out of the wheelchair, pull it in, get back in the wheelchair. It's just, to me, it's such a lesson in perseverance for those people who have to do that. And if we can make it a little easier and show a measure of gratitude, which they certainly deserve, I think we should.
Well, in the pilot, what was his reaction? And of course, we don't want to tell the ending of the first episode, but what was his reaction to go from a home that was challenging, being in a wheelchair, to having his home renovated in a way in which it actually added quality of life as well as independence for him?
Yes, and that's a big one, independence for anyone, even let's say a little kid. My niece was trying to zip up her jacket at Christmas time, and I was helping her. No, I can do. I can do. Everybody from the minute we understand what independence is, we want that. We need that. We need the freedom to do for ourselves. And imagine having that for your whole life and having it stripped away, having it taken from you through no fault of your own only because you were trying to serve your country. So I think giving back, not only just a measure of independence, but it allow them the freedom to do for themselves. It's huge, and I think that's the biggest takeaway for me. That sure you can make it pleasing to the eye, you can make it nice and all of that, but to make it livable again under the circumstances, we owe them at least that, don't we?
We even owe them much more than that. I mean, for all of our veterans out there that serve our country proudly, active military, and then those that are no longer in the military, but will always be the men and women that fought to keep our nation free and to keep it safe. And especially those that come
Oh,
back and they're injured, we owe them a lot.
Yes, we do. And I don't think I quite answered the question. His response was, I wasn't trying to avoid that. Clearly, we'll let people see the pilot and see what it was. But as you can guess, it was a mixture of surprise, relief, gratitude, wonderment. I'll give you the one line he says as he's being taken into his house for the first time, pushed by his girlfriend, as he just clicked the door open and comes inside and looks at it. He says, "What did you do to my house?" But in the best way. He was so astonished, like a little kid seeing Disneyland for the first time, knowing that this is just going to be so great now. Uh, in a way that he doesn't have to worry about all the things he had to worry about before, because certainly he has enough challenges, right? Why not try to take some of those off his plate?
Well, yeah, Jack, one of the rooms in our house that maybe a lot of people take for granted, so to speak, is the bathroom. When y'all renovated the bathroom, were you amazed on the challenges that a lot of these veterans have with just that one simple room?
Exactly right. You just take it for granted. You go in because you have to take a shower or you have to use the restroom. It's not a place you hang you hang out in too often. You do what you got to do and you leave. Maybe an occasional bath, I think, for people who like that or something. But you're right. The challenges. I saw the house before, Ward, and I'm glad you brought that up. And I went in there and I looked at it. I said, okay, great. But if you had to be in a wheelchair, look at the impediments. The way in, you'd have to get out of the wheelchair because it doesn't fit through the doorway. That's number one. Number two, there's a lip to get into the shower. So you got to take that lip out so you can roll in. And then there's a shower and a tub. Got to rip the tub out because you can't get yourself in and out of that. So you just combine the space, make it one big shower. They just ripped it out so you could just roll in. No lip, just right across. But that has its own challenges about water escaping and things like that. Uh, but and then they made it nice too, and they had lights around the mirror. It comes in different uh, soft lighting to make it a relaxing experience, which is really good. We always talk about the physical, but the mental, the emotional, to make sure that they're okay, to be able to give them a peaceful experience too, not just an aesthetically pleasing one or one that's functional, but we wanted to bring a sense of relief and peace to them. And they were just brilliant the way they did that with the bathroom. It's a place like, oh, I could hang out here. I might take a bath. It's nice, even though there's no tub anymore. But it was just such a nice place to be, a place of comfort. And you'd want every room in your house to be like that, wouldn't you?
Oh, absolutely. And then even the kitchen, here's a space that in most homes is kind of like the meeting place now. We spend more time in the kitchen than we do the living room or the den. And with veterans that come back who have been injured, there's a lot of things that have to be done in the kitchen as well. And that's what, lowering the counters?
Yeah, well, there's a lot actually. Aesthetically, first, putting in cabinets, plants, things like that to make it a pleasing place to be. But there's only so much you could do as far as moving things around. We had 1 week to get this down, so you want to make sure that you do everything you can to make it functional. But you don't want to overdo it because you're not sure, is he going to like that? You want to keep in mind that it's still somebody's house, that it's not your playground to do everything with. So I guess, which was really smart, Tracy, the guy who created this, had did a couple of interviews with the guy to see what he might like, what surprises would be nice surprises, what might be unpleasant. So just to redo the whole kitchen in that vibe was great, but the artwork in it as well, and to make it functional, like you could roll right up to the fridge and get everything out still. So that's not a challenge. But the sinks, there's only so much you can do in that time frame. You can't lower the sinks all the way down to floor level because then what about the other people? So that was, I think, the kitchen was a huge challenge, but the living room, to open it up just to give you more space, because we can navigate on two legs, we can move around, but a wheelchair is not the same. So that's, I guess, to give it a sense of space and openness, which in itself creates some peace, doesn't it? Where it's not cluttered, not that it was before, but just with that in mind, there was so much that went into it. I was so impressed with the job everybody did.
Well, what do you hope that American Homecoming will accomplish?
I want to start the conversation, Ward. When vets come home, and we've all heard these stories, at least 22 veterans a day take their lives because of the challenges and whatever else they might be going through. I'm not smart enough to say, and I know they're not all going through the same thing, but we got to take care of them. And that starts with where they live, right? Home is where the heart is. But to be at a house that doesn't serve you, how hard is that? To get around. How does that kick off your day? A lot of us complain if there's traffic on the way to work, or we didn't get our coffee, or we didn't get enough sleep. How about being in a house where it's almost impossible to live? So what I'd like to do is to say you can be a part of this team. You can help not only veterans uh, with the physical part of their life, but to get their lives back, right? Not just the house. And the way it's created is that the gentleman who put it together, Tracy Trost, he made it so that we can all be a part of that we can have a true sense of community, that we can come in and contribute however we want to. If you want to, you just go to AmericanHomecoming.tv and you become a delegate, which that doesn't cost anything. It just means that you're on the team. You'll try to get other people to watch it. You'll tell people about it. You'll share the link, and there's also a way you can help be a physical part of the show in whatever way it was. But I'll let people look at the show and follow the instructions there. But I'd really love to start the conversation to
Well,
say, hey, here is the house that they lived in before. This is after. Imagine yourself being in the same situation. Wouldn't you like someone to take this house and to make it that for you? And now they got in that situation in the first place because they were serving their country. They were keeping us free. They were defending our liberties, and however you want to say that, they were being selfless in their service. They came back like this. We owe them that. Like you
yeah,
said, we owe them more than that, but at least that.
when I saw the pilot, and I saw the trailer, and ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna give you a glimpse of what American Homecoming looks like, and you're gonna be just excited as Jack is, and excited as I am because I can't wait to see this series end up on television. Jack, are there any interested networks out there in picking up the show?
I'm not sure about any of that. Clearly, I was the host of the show, as we all could see. I don't get involved in that side of it. That's Tracy's job to try to sell it. I think there is interest, certainly. Um, I don't know that that is the traditional way to go. I'm not sure what his plan is. Maybe there'll be a network that would have interest and want to bring that to as many people as possible. I know in the meantime, he has it just launched and he has a plan for it at AmericanHomecoming.tv. And I think maybe that's a way to get more people more involved as opposed to just watching it. But that's above my head, as they say.
Well, hey,
But
ladies
I'm
and gentlemen,
really
be
proud to be a part of it, though, for
yeah, and
sure.
and and here's what we're gonna do, ladies and gentlemen. I want you to become a delegate. It doesn't cost anything. Just go to AmericanHomecoming.tv and just sign up and just spread the word about this. The more people that sign up, and I can tell you one thing: when it comes to television, numbers speak volumes. So if all of you will go on there, become a delegate, then these numbers can grow, and then these numbers can tell a lot of these television networks, hey, there's great interest here. Let's pick up this amazing new show called American Homecoming that renovates the homes of all of our veterans. Remember, they fought for our freedom. They fought for our ability to, well, just to live life in America as it should be, and we owe them everything. And Jack, I'm so glad that you brought this to me. I'm going to have to contact Tracy and have him come on and to talk more about the American Homecoming.
Oh, he'd be a wonderful advocate for it. It was his idea. He's much more entrenched. I loved being a part of it, but as the host, I try to do my job, but he does all the other jobs, or many of the other ones. I think he'd be a wonderful guest for your show.
Well, I've got a quick question on AmericanHomecoming.tv. Is there like a donate button or anything there?
Uh, I'm not sure exactly how it's set up. I'm sure there's a way to be a part of it in many ways, to be a delegate, to be a part of it. I'm not sure exactly what it says, but I know there's a way that if you want to be involved, there's at least one, probably more ways that you can be involved.
Yeah, and ladies and gentlemen, we're going to show you after my interview with Jack, we're going to show you the American Homecoming trailer, and and get ready because uh, you're going to understand why both Jack and I are very excited about this television series and that it needs to be regularly seen on air, and we need your help. And so do our veterans. They need our help more than anything. And for you to reach out, become a delegate at AmericanHomecoming.tv means a lot to them and to get this series going. And Jack, what is next for Jack Maxwell?
Well, first of all, I'd love to say to anyone who is even thinking about watching it, I really appreciate the interest you would have in checking it out, maybe watching it if you can, being a part of it any way you can. I'm just grateful that we were able to bring it to people. And if you want to go to that website and check it out, that would be wonderful. And if you want to be a part of it in whatever way, I think that'd be great too. But if you could get the word out, just tell people about it. That would be wonderful because our vets deserve it. For me, I'm working on a couple of different things as actors and television hosts do, but this one really has my heart because of all the things I could do in television or film or whatever else that I might be a part of in any given year. This one really tugs at my heartstrings because it's such a great cause, and I don't think it can be overstated. Just for one day, when you have a day to kill, get a wheelchair. Try to move around your house in that wheelchair.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, American Homecoming host Jack Maxwell. Again, this is one of the most amazing television series that I have seen. And just like Jack said, go
Thank you.
get a wheelchair and try to navigate your own home, and you'll completely understand what these veterans go through. And Jack, would you like to introduce the American Homecoming trailer for all of my viewers to see?
I'd be honored, Ward. Thank you, and thank you for being a part of this. American Homecoming was shot on location in Oklahoma at the home of Garrett Robitaille, our veteran, who's a Navy guy, who is now relegated to a wheelchair. Uh, the trailer is somewhere between 2 and 3 minutes long. We also have a whole episode. But from the trailer, you'll get the idea of not only what he goes through on a daily basis, but how you can bring together people who want to give back something, whether it was the Army of Volunteers, or the contractor, or the designer, or the master craftsman, or my co host. When we all come together to help the life of even one person, we're a better world because of it. And I hope this trailer will help you understand what we were trying to do and why. Enjoy. Hi, my name is Jack Maxwell, and I'm the host of a new show called American Homecoming. You see, when our veterans come home from the battlefield, they often face new challenges. For a disabled vet, that could mean accessibility, mobility, which makes it pretty difficult to get around the house. Oh, that's where we come in. With our team of experts and partners, we renovate the house. We put in ramps and hardwood floors. We widen doorways. We make bathrooms larger and more accessible. We bring in new furniture and appliances, fresh paint, and custom woodworking. What better way, after all, for all of us to say thank you to all of them. And each one has a unique and fascinating story they're willing to share with us and the audience as we get to know them as people, real human beings, not just soldiers. You see, we think it's an honorable mission to try and give some freedom back to our brave men and women who lost a part of theirs defending ours.
What has happened to my house?
Together, we can give them the American homecoming they deserve. Everybody, come on and celebrate! I hope you join us. If so, I'll see you soon.